So on the go to, we have almost the same similar, almost the same scenario with what we have on the GBP USD, but I would like to go to the daily time frame so that I can explain to you from the beginning how we got to where we are today. So on the daily time frame, we it's obvious that we have a bullish momentum drive as price action has been respecting that bullish trend line since God knows when. I think 2020. Okay, you have seen price respect that bullish trend line, and at no point in time did we see price break below that bullish trend line here on the daily time frame. And one thing we now observed was that during the course of the early days of this month, that is, I think June stroke July, we saw an outright breakdown of that bullish trend line, giving us a clear into a possible shift in momentum on the gold. Are we going to be having a downtrend continuation from here? We are not sure yet. But one thing we all understand that since price tested the $1,680 mark, we begin to see a momentum that looks more like a reversal pattern on the lower time frame during the course of last week trading session, and we're of the opinion that there are two possibilities that we could be looking out for. I think there are three possibilities that we could be looking out for here on the gold this week. The first scenario, which is obvious, is that we expect price, considering the fact that that bullish trend line has been holding price action for some time since 2020, we expect price to come back to do the retest of that structure, and after which we might be seeing a momentum that's pushing price to the downside from there. That's the first scenario we are looking out for. Then the other scenario is we could be having price come back to do. If we look at the structure I have here, I was able to identify this bearish trend line since the beginning of the month of March. We saw our price has respected this bearish trend line, and I was able to also identify another resistant trend line since mid-June, which has been respected too before we saw the breakdown of this bearish red trend line here. So there is a possibility that we could have price come back into this bearish trend line, the resistance level here. We look out for patterns that will push price to the downside from there. Or are we going to be having an outright downtrend from this red bearish trend line here? So those are the three scenarios we are going to be looking out for. So one thing I want to be doing now is to go down to a much lower time frame where we shall be seeing things more clearly, and using those parameters we find there to take advantage of any potential opportunity lining up for us this week. Excuse me. Before I scale down to the 1 hour time frame, let's look at what's happening on the 4 hours time frame. Yes, so on the 4 hours time frame, I hope you still remember that this bearish trend line I shared with you on the daily time frame, this two bearish trend line, we have something that looks like a channel here. We have this move here, price respected this resistance level of the channel before we saw an outright breakdown of the channel during the course of the early days of this month. And one thing we saw, as soon as price got to this level, it appears we have a reversal pattern. We have two ways to which you can look at it. We have the horizontal reversal pattern here, and we have the trend reversal pattern. Let me show you what I'm talking about. We have this reversal pattern here. We saw the breakdown of this bearish red trend line here. Then price respected it, respected it again. Then we saw this scenario. We saw something that looks like a breakout of that trend line. So for me here, this is more or less like a reversal pattern at this point. Let me identify it for you to see what I'm talking about. So this looks more like a reversal pattern to me, and we have the neckline here. And one thing I want to be looking out for is a breakout of the structure, a retest of the structure to give me further confirmation that we are going bullish on this one. So that's the first scenario I'm looking out for. That's the first reversal pattern. Let me hide this so that we can have a clearer picture. Then the second reversal pattern is this around here. Then we're looking for a breakout of the structure. We are looking forward to a breakout of this. Hold on a second. We are looking forward to a breakout of the structure, retest of structure to push price to the upside from here. So you can see that we have a confluence already. And if we look left, we can see our price action has been respecting this $1,720 mark before we saw the breakout of this area. So going into the new week now, I have a very strong key level at $1,720 mark, which are going to be my yardstick going forward. So what does our key level do for us? You all know what it does. What it does is it guides our action, and what it says is if we have price oscillating right above that key level, we want to do a buy, we want to anticipate a buy potential opportunity. And if price oscillates right below the key level, we want to anticipate a bearish potential opportunity. So now that we have the scenario here, we have a key level, we have a bearish trend line. How do we take advantage of this move? So for the bullish potential here on the XAUSD, the one thing I want to be looking out for, we already have a breakout of the structure, but I want to look for significant breakout in the form of an engulfing bullish candle. And if that happens, I want to see a retest of the structure, which also shares a confluence with that bearish trend line, after which I want to be looking out for patterns on lower time frame to join the rally to the upside. What I will be saying here is our first take profit target should be, so we're expecting the breakout of this area. We want to see an engulfing candle breakout of that structure. We look out for a retest of structure. We look out for reversal patterns on lower time frame to join the rally to the upside. So like I was saying, our take profit target in the meantime should be the resistance level of this descending channel at least. And that will dovetail to how many pips that is. That is around 3,000, 4,000 pips to catch here if price moves in that direction. And one thing we want to be looking out for is we want to see how price is going to relate with this area. So if price gets into this area, we want to see if price is going to do a reversal pattern to push price to the downside from here, or we are going to see a breakout of that structure. Then price does a retest, then we want to be adding more position to our existing trade with the aim of take profit target at around the $1,820 mark, which also shares a confluence with the bullish trend line we identified on the daily time frame. So that's the first scenario we want to be looking out for. And then if price comes into this area, the resistance level, if we see a reversal pattern here, we want to join a selling momentum here. Now that's the second scenario. Then the third scenario is if price is going to respect this bearish trend line, this red dotted tick line here, if price is going to respect that bearish trend line in such a way that we are going to be having a bearish trend, then I want to see price do a breakdown of this key level, this neckline, this key level at $1,720 mark. We want to see a breakdown of that level. We want to see price come back to give us a confirmation that we are going bearish in the form of a retest of the key level at $1,720 mark, or probably the bearish trend line here, after which we look out for patterns on lower time frame to join the decline to the downside from this area. So this is what we are going to be looking out for the XAUSD this week. We have an opportunities for selling momentums. Based considering the fact that we are on a long-term bearish momentum, we can't ignore the possibility that we could be having a bearish move this week. However, I was able to share with you the potential bullish opportunity that can come up during the week. So I will advise that we remain steadfast and be on standby to catch this move. And you can as well screenshot my screen so that you can use it as a reference point when you're about to make your own individual decision on the gold. And okay, where will our take profit target be for the gold? Well, the first thing I will say here is this: let's not be too over ambitious when we are taking a sell here, because if we look left, we can see that we have a structure around here which has been a demand zone in the past, and because we have that structure there, then we want to be having our first take profit target around that area, which is around the $1,680 mark area, and that will dovetail to how many pips that is. That's around 3,700 pips to catch here if price moves in that direction. And if price now breaks that level and does a retest of that level, then we could be thinking of adding more position to our existing trade on the gold. So this is the scenario we are looking out for here on the gold, and I hope I made myself very clear. Innocent Babe, you have any question, or is anybody in the house have any question or further clarification needed, feel free to drop it in the comment section, and I will be willing to be of help in that regard.